It's an important evening in February. The ACC. We come to you from John Paul Jones Arena in Virginia. And number 8, the Cavaliers taking a red-hot number 22 NC State. A very dangerous team. Dave O'Brien alongside Corey Alexander. Good evening, everybody. Corey, Pitt continues to roll. An impressive victory a little earlier tonight. Another ACC win. So if Virginia takes this one, we've got a 3-way tie atop the league.
And 2 of those teams at the top of the ACC, I don't think anyone would have expected. But the one team you would expect, the Virginia Cavaliers, right here with a huge opportunity on their home court tonight against a red-hot NC State Wolfpack group. Winners of 8 of their last 9 games. Obi, it's the first time that this has happened for NC State since 1973-74 national championship season that included David Thompson, where they went 30-1, and that also happened to be the year I was born, Obi. So it's been quite a while since the Wolfpack has played this well. That
date, of course, celebrated all over the campus here at the University of Virginia. One of the all-time greats, and here's Kevin Keith, 6th year at the helm of the Wolfpack. What a job he's done. There were a lot of naysayers when this season got underway in Raleigh, North Carolina. No longer the case. They can win their 20th game tonight. So NC State coming in at 19-5, 9-4 in the conference. Virginia 17-4, 9-3 in the ACC, and we are underway as the Cavaliers win the opening tip.
And you see Jarkel Joyner picking up Kihei Clark beyond half court. That's something to pay attention to today. Jarkel Joyner just as disruptive defensively as is Kihei.
Virginia coming off a tough road loss at Blacksburg on Saturday. Good basketball game. They never once had the lead in it. Franklin on the drive leaves it short, and Gant comes away with a rebound for the Wolfpack. NC State has played well lately in this rivalry. In fact, right here, they've won the last 2 games.
And look forward to seeing the basketball in DJ Burns' hands often, but turns it over on the first possession. The trap has worked for Virginia early.
Beekman going to work in the paint. Gardner, who's had a hot hand lately, and he gets the first bucket. Jaden Gardner averaging about 18 points a game the last 3 for the Hoos.
And coming into the season, you would have expected Jaden Gardner to be the leading scorer for the Hoos, but he's been just that down the stretch.
Burns on the entry. Nice feathery touch by the 6'9" grad.
Going to be interesting to see how Tony Bennett goes at defending DJ Burns throughout this game. That time they left him one-on-one. He'll win that matchup versus Bennett Vanderplas.
Are you talking about the best offense in the ACC and the Wolfpack, and the best defense statistically in the ACC in Virginia? So this one's certainly a battle of ultimate strengths. Vanderplas gets it and lays it in.
Good sign early for Virginia. Bennett Vanderplas was scoreless against Virginia Tech on Saturday. First time since he's been in the starting lineup.
Joyner averaging 16 points a game. Terquavion Smith averaging 19 points a game. Smith with it here. He's going to launch from way downtown. Comes right back to Burns in the lane. He'll get a second crack at it. Burns playing really well coming in. He's an excellent passer, and that turns into a hoop from the corner. Drilled by Casey Morsell, who is back at Virginia for the first time. He played his first 2 years for Tony Bennett.
Obi, some hoops mean more than others. That was a big basket for Casey Morsell and for the Wolfpack.
He's really shooting the ball, too. He's come a long way. And as Tony Bennett said, we talked to him in his office before the game, he said this offense for the Wolfpack really suits him.
It absolutely is, and he's a perfect complement to the guards for NC State as Terquavion Smith will pick up the first foul. Trying to strip the basketball, but we talked about DJ Burns being trapped, and his passing is extraordinary. That time the cross court to the corner to find Casey Morsell knocking down his first shot back. And JPJ, as a member of the Wolfpack, of course, he was a Who for 2 years.
They gave him a 2 out of the corner there, but he is hitting 44% from three-point land.
They've actually changed that now to a three-point basket. Jamie Luckey going over and checking the tape during the break in the action.
Jamie along with Roger Ayers and Jeffrey Clark, the officials tonight.
Great crew for a big game, and OB, this is a huge game as far as ACC standings, as far as implications.
Franklin on the penetration and draws the foul. About 3 minutes in, Armaan Franklin, who was held to just 6 points by the Hokies on Saturday, and draws the foul. And that goes against Burns, and that'll put Armaan to the line where he makes 71%.
Franklin, 2 shots.
And drops in number 1 and ties the game 5-5.
Ross, number 24, now playing for the Wolfpack.
It is a big night in the ACC and a late night here at the University of Virginia and John Paul Jones Arena. Dave O'Brien and Corey Alexander, thanks so much for being with us. It's big because if Virginia wins tonight, and that is a tall order against an outstanding NC State team, but if they do, we'll have a 3-way tie atop the ACC.
And OB, I'll look at it as they're saving the best for last. You've got a ranked matchup. NC State coming in at number 22 nationally, Virginia at number 8 in a big battle. As you see and hear the ovation for Caden Shedrick coming onto the court for his first time. Did not play on Saturday at Virginia Tech. Tony Bennett going to Shedrick early.
Virginia taking a loss there against their rivals in Blacksburg in a hard-fought game. Here's DJ Burns, the 6'9" grad. Crowd wanted to walk here. Jarkel Joyner, who's been terrific, averaging 16 a game. Off target there. And right through the lane, Morcell's going to tap it out. Casey Morcell, and a big story here as the former Virginia Cavalier returns to Charlottesville for the first time since he transferred. This is his second year, but under Tony Bennett initially, he's a much better offensive player right now in this offense for the Wolfpack, isn't he?
He's a much more comfortable player in the offense for NC State than he was, but you also have to consider he's 2 years older, 2 years wiser, and Reese Beekman, who continues to get healthier and better each and every time out, goes and gets a bucket early.
So an 8-5 lead for the Cavaliers. They're number 8. NC State, as Corey mentioned, in the top 25. First time since December of '82 that NC State is ranked in the top 25, and both Carolina and Duke are not. Under 10 to get up a shot. Morcell on the drive with a turnaround. Knocks it down. He's hit a couple of shots early.
And Casey Morcell's being greeted by boos from the Virginia student section. However, it has not deterred him at all. 2 for 2 from the field and looking very aggressive on the offensive end.
Been a factor for the Wolfpack not only tonight, but he's averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds a game. Gardner on the spin, and a foul from behind on Ernest Ross. On the block attempts as he went for the slam. 8-7 Virginia on NC State very early in Charlottesville. Back at John Paul Jones, 8-7. Virginia leading NC State. David Corey with you. And games like this are always really interesting because you know the definitive strengths of both teams. There's no gray area. You know, NC State is the best offensive team in the conference. Virginia is the best defensive team statistically in the conference.
And when you think about these two styles clashing, you think about the fact that Kevin Keats has won the last 2 meetings in this building and won 3 of the last 4 against Virginia. So one of the very few teams to shoot 60% ever against Tony Bennett. It's only happened twice in Tony Bennett's career. One of those was last season to Kevin Keats and the NC State Wolfpack. So 2 different styles are going to make a great game here this evening.
Gardner at the line where he hits 62%. He's coming off a string of strong efforts. 20 points Saturday against Blacksburg in the loss, along with 10 rebounds. So whatever went wrong there was not his fault.
And of course, Jake Gardner was an all-ACC performer a year ago, Virginia's leading scorer. He's starting to get back into form on the offensive end right now of the guy we saw a season ago.
Morcell handing off for Smith. Burns another touch. Look at the triple on him, trying to fight his way out of it. Again, the crowd calling for a walk there. A lot of contact. Nice save there on the baseline by Ross. Got to get off a shot here. Smith barely got to the iron. And it'll go the other way, back to Virginia. I'll tell you what, the students are revved up for this one.
They absolutely are. And OB, so are the Who's. Virginia's last 2 games, the first halves have not been great for them. At Syracuse, they struggled to allow the Orange to shoot 64%. And then struggled, of course, gave up 74 points to Virginia Tech on Saturday. But what we're seeing right now is the defensive effort that we were expecting from Virginia all season long.
Burns will take a break. Dewana, the 6'11 junior, will come on now for Kevin Keats. Remember the Wolfpack last year, just 11 and 21. A lot of debilitating injuries. Clark dishing downstairs. Gardner can't finish it. So this is remarkable what the Wolfpack have been able to do. They were picked to finish 10th in the ACC by the media before the year got underway.
Jaden Gardner going down in the painted area.
And slow to rise, but he is up. A little bit hobbled.
Was defending Ebenezer Dewana. Not sure what happened there, but just went to the floor. Glad to see him back up and moving.
Heading to the bench, however.
Yeah, Bennett Vanderplas will replace Gardner as Dewana was unable to make the layup. But something we have to keep an eye on. And NC State showing they're going to pressure Virginia off of made shots as well as dead balls. They're going to pick Virginia up 94 feet, make them continue to work.
And we'll keep an eye on Jaden Gardner, such a key offensive guy, and a timeout here.
Jaden Gardner headed back to the locker room, OB.
He is.
Well, not quite the locker room, but Ethan Saliba going to take him into the hallway. You see that left ankle turn. And of course, painful as it may be, but honestly a great sign to see that it was an ankle turning in comparison to another non-contact injury.
And the crew has gone to the monitor too to see if maybe something occurred there that might warrant additional attention.
Yeah, nothing there, nothing against Dewana on that possession. And of course, they don't have the benefit of instant replay like we do to see that it was actually an ankle that took him down.
Roger Ayers coming over to clarify that. So no flagrants there. 14:40 to go here in the first half. And we'll keep an eye on Gardner, obviously, and check on him and his progress to return. Beekman keeps on driving, left hand blocked by Dewana.
And that's what Dewana does. Again, he's not the offensive player that you're going to get with DJ Burns on the floor, but he is a much greater rim protector.
Smith off target there, but it comes free to Ross, and he'll get a second effort. Here's Smith. He gets a lot of shots in the air. And so far, he has yet to hit anything. They, by the way, NC State 1 for 5 from three-point land. Clark, Shedrick trying to finish. He does, and he takes a hit as well. He'll be at the line. Caden Shedrick got a nice hand when he came on, as you pointed out, because he was missing in action over the weekend, and Blacksburg didn't play a minute.
And Caden Shedrick in the right spot, able to finish through contact, gets the foul, and you see the emotion from Caden Shedrick after the bucket. Happy to be getting this opportunity once again on the floor for Tony Bennett and trying his best to prove to Coach Bennett he deserves to be back in the rotation.
Shedrick, who is a native of Raleigh, looking for a three-point play, and he does, and that's the largest lead so far here for Virginia. NC State averaging 80 points a game. Smith, the top scorer in the conference. Joyner off the fake, and they give it back. Beekman hand with the slam will finish that one off. NC State has been doing a remarkable job of not turning the ball over the last 5 or 6 ball games. Now listen to this crowd. Smith down the lane, and that rolls in for the talented 6'4" sophomore.
But OB, if Virginia's going to make it that difficult for Taquavion Smith to score, Virginia will win this game. If you think about the defensive effort that they're putting forth right now, and again, you and I have called the last two Virginia games. It hasn't looked like this for them early, but they are tuned in here tonight.
Thunder plus back to the freshman McNeely, and that's off target. Although he's been shooting the ball very, very well, 44% beyond the three-point line.
Reese Beekman oftentimes isn't as aggressive as he should be. Led the ACC in steals a year ago. Another one here, and showing that he's getting healthy with the finish on the break. We may see that later on SportsCenter, OB.
Pretty good bet. He just picked up his first foul, by the way. So 15-9, Virginia. Here's Morcell working on the rookie. Off the fake, and will draw the foul before the shot.
Foul before the shot on 11, Isaac McNeely, his first.
McNeely's been drawing a lot of comparisons lately here at Virginia to a couple of guys who are outstanding as freshmen, guys like Joe Harris. And now it's Gardner coming back on, the 6'6" grad. He was not gone for very long, and a great sign for the Cavaliers.
Absolutely great to see Jaden Gardner back on the floor.
Smith airborne, and a block. And Shedrick does that an awful lot, doesn't he?
He absolutely does. One of the top ACC shot blockers. Even though he's playing limited minutes right now, still getting the job done when he's on the floor.
Clark making a move on the drive. Left hand, and lays it in. Well, the Cavaliers looking sharp early on in this one.
And love the way Virginia's guards are attacking the basket, being very decisive, not looking to pass the basketball.
Morcell around and out.
Another good look for Casey Morcell. Nice find by DJ Burns.
Blow by Clark. He'll throw it away, though, right to Smith.
But that goes back into the running to pass.
And look at the quick effort to get it on the iron anyway by Joyner, but he cannot convert. And it goes back over to Virginia. They're a terrific fast break team, and those who plays they usually do cash in on.
And Kihei Clark cashing in on his way to the basket, finishing with the left hand, and the Who's are in cruise control right now.
That's the 6'11" junior Caden Shedrick in the middle of that huddle for Tony Bennett. He had a donut against Virginia Tech on Saturday. Did not play in the game. He's playing tonight.
He's playing well tonight. And Obi, you're talking about a guy who was only averaging 7.5 minutes per game in the last 5 before he did not play against Virginia Tech. But also a young man who started 14 of the first 15 games for Virginia and is one of the leading shot blockers in the ACC. Finding his way back into Tony Bennett's rotation right now, and has done a great job in this game finding his way back. We talked with Tony Bennett pregame about Caden Shedrick. He said he's doing the work. He's putting in the time. They've been playing well with Bennett Vanderplas at the 5, but he was going to get a chance tonight, and he's making the best of it.
Big block, three-point play in his early minutes. And the Cavaliers with the basketball. Kihei Clark 40% outside the 3. McNeely can be deadly out there. You could tell coming off the hand that was Bottoms.
And McNeely makes the shot. Of course, Kihei Clark gets the assist, but give Caden Shedrick a lot of credit for setting a big screen, not allowing his former teammate Casey Morcell to get through.
Burns back in, draws a lot of attention. Joyner on Clark to the paint. Off the fake. Too strong. So the Cavaliers ranked number 8 in the country, up 20-9.
Obi, we've got to mention the guards for NC State, both coming off their lowest scoring games of the season. 5 points for Joyner as well as Taquavion Smith, 10 points combined. Still able to win that game versus Georgia Tech.
Shedrick a little too strong there. Out it comes for Joyner. The old mistransfer.
Yeah, those two guys right now combined 1 for 9 from the field. So the shooting woes have continued here in Charlottesville.
Burns, one big body, and it popped out of his hands. He got it back. That's too strong. Gardner with the board. And Jaden Gardner appears to be fully recovered as he came off the court for a couple of minutes. Looked like he turned an ankle.
And Caden Shedrick a little gas right now, asking for a sub to get out. And DJ Burns fortunate to be able to get away with the push on that one.
NC State started 3 for 5 shooting. They're 1 for 10 since then. Smith trying to get started. Banging against Clark. And drops in 2.
And Quavion Smith just using a height advantage on Kihei Clark there. Kihei played it tough, forcing the fadeaway, but of course there's not a shot that Quavion can't make.
4 points so far. Catch, and that's going to roll in. Tough play for Shedrick. Got it to go, though.
It absolutely was. Wasn't the best pass Kihei Clark has thrown throughout his career, but Caden Shedrick, the presence of mind to lay it up in comparison to try it, dunking it, and getting the bucket.
Smith with a triple. Got that. Maybe he is starting to catch fire.
Well, that's the one advantage that Quavion Smith has. He will play, of course, within the team concept. He'll do everything asked for the team, but he has the ability to start breaking plays off and go do his own thing and take advantage of his opportunity to score one-on-one.
He's had some big games. Gardner, yes. Boy, that's a shot he really likes.
He is automatic in those spots. You're talking about in the dunker spot along the baseline, 10, 15 feet away from the basket. You may as well just count it whenever he shoots it.
Burns out of the double. Right into the chest of Shedrick, and that's going to be an offensive on the big fella, DJ Burns. And that is going to be his third foul. I should say third turnover. Virginia up 10, 24-14 on NC State, and they've got Jaden Gardner back and looking good.
And Jaden Gardner playing great basketball as of late. We watched him walk off after rolling his ankle, going back into the tunnel with Ethan Saliba, coming back in the game, getting that short corner that he loves so much, knocking down the easy bucket. He may as well call that a layup for Jaden Gardner.
Still not looking 100% and grimacing as he sits down, but last 3 games, 18 points per game, shooting lights out and also hitting the glass, and he's undersized at 6'6",
but also has over 2,000 points and over 1,000 rebounds. The only active player in Division I basketball to have those type of numbers. So Jaden Gardner knows his way around the basketball floor, has done it well for a very long time.
The fouls on Burns, by the way, 2 now for him, and he's sitting, at least at the moment, alongside Kevin Keats. Vanderplas downstairs, gets tied up, almost gave it away. Shot clock is down to 5 for Virginia. Franklin working on Joyner off the window, and Gant with a big rebound.
And that's a big rebound for Gant, because Ryan Dunn, who has been known to come in and dunk those, putting people on posters, was on his heels to come put that one back in.
Now for NC State, this is an absolutely dynamic backcourt between Smith and Joyner. Are they the best in the league?
You know what? They come in and they feel as though they're the best in the league, and I asked both those guys earlier if they were the best. Jarkel Joyner said, hands down, we'll show it tonight. Quavion asked, who else would it be? And I told him, hey, these guys at Virginia are pretty good.
And the guys in Miami would like to get in there.
I believe the guys in Miami would be in that conversation as well.
I mean, mishandled there, off Dunn out, and with under 7 to go. That is just their second turnover.
But to qualify, I did talk with Jarkel Joyner about the fact that I'm including all 3. So it will be Jarkel, it will be Quavion and Casey Morsell. Then you also talk about Kihei Clark, Reese Beekman, and Armand Franklin. And I believe that's where, when you start talking about all 3 players in the backcourt, is where Miami loses a little bit. Wiggle Poplar is very good. He's more of a defensive player right now, but I think that's where these 2 teams have the advantage over Miami.
I'm telling you, watching Miami last night, they didn't do one single thing other than perfect against Duke. They absolutely rolled in that one. Very impressive Marcel leaning in the act of going up for a 3, so that's going to be 3 shots.
Smart play by Casey Marcel. Gets Armand Franklin in the air. And again, when you do that, you have to be smart not to go outside of your natural motion, because it can be called an offensive foul at that point. So we're going to hear from the crowd here as Casey Marcel goes to the free throw line for 3. It gives him more than enough time to boo him.
Not real happy that he left the University of Virginia. Marcel, this is in a pregame with Tony Bennett, his former coach. Little embrace there. Smiles with his former teammates. He's enjoying a really fine year, the senior from Maryland.
Great young man, not just good, a great young man. And had some success here at Virginia. But when it's all said and done, I believe the style of play for Kevin Keats fits Casey Marcel better than the style of play fit for him here at Virginia, and he's been able to excel this season. Had his ACC career high, 17 points last time out versus Georgia Tech, when Quavion Smith and Jarkel Joyner did not have their best offensive games. Casey Marcel showed up big for the Wolfpack.
And Marcel, number 2 in the ACC in three-point accuracy. And one of the things that Tony Bennett said was he's a more efficient player. He's really worked at that.
But Obi, one thing's for certain, you're going to be better in your 4th year of college normally than you are in your 2nd.
No doubt. No doubt. Approaching the 6-minute mark, and only 16 points for NC State. McNeely, yes, that's a 2-pointer with a feathery touch.
McNeely has been aggressive early, his 3rd field goal attempt, and now he's starting to go into his individual package, going off the bounce, not necessarily just a catch-and-shoot guy.
Smith has started to cook on a blow-by. That's going to be goaltending, so count that.
Quavion Smith has games where he's not going to be as aggressive shooting the basketball. Had 10 assists last time out versus Georgia Tech. Wasn't scoring the ball, but made sure he continued to contribute. It looks like now he's seeing his team is struggling to score, so he's going to be aggressive, attacking the basket, looking for his opportunities. You're talking about the ACC's leading scorer at 18.5 points a game. He's not going to let this game go by without him having some type of input.
Virginia is not letting the Wolfpack get out and run, not very often. They do not have a single fast break point yet, and it's a big part of their attack.
It absolutely is. They had an opportunity, but Jarkel Joyner actually missed a wide open layup.
Gardner up to set a screen. Back here for Kihei Clark. McNeely with the save. Shot clock at 8. Vanderplas into the paint. Shot clock down to 5. And the freshman can't connect.
Gant doing a great job on the glass. Oftentimes in there by himself, but allowing his team to get out and run a little bit, knowing that he's going to take care of the board.
Smith shoved off Clark, can't hit it, off the heel. And Gardner tears down the rebound. He's getting about 5 a game. Beekman through. Didn't finish it. On the run now. Here comes Quavion Smith through the lane. Denied. Once again, Virginia gets back defensively on a break.
And Virginia has numbers here. See if they take advantage of it.
Clark underneath and bumped and fouled. He'll be heading to the line. Fouled by Ernest Ross, the 6'9" sophomore. 4:29 to go. That'll be his 2nd foul.
Speaking of smart plays, Kihei Clark, super smart, recognizing no way Ernest Ross would be able to stay in front of him and keep him away from getting to the basket.
Kihei, the grad out of Woodland Hills, California. He is #1 all-time in the ACC in minutes played. How about that?
He's going to be #1 in as many different categories before this season ends.
Now coming up, men's basketball presented by Subway on Saturday. Pitt continues to be a great story. They blew out Louisville today, taking on Virginia Tech at 5, and then Clemson and Louisville at 7 p.m. all coming up Saturday on the ACC network. And Kihei cashes in. He has 4. Back up to a 10-point advantage for the Cavaliers.
This is the first time I believe this season Kihei Clark is playing against a guard that's just as quick and just as heady as he is, and Jarkel Joyner. And right now, Kihei is ahead in this battle between these two players.
Marcel got a good look. Shedrick with another rebound. He's really shown up in this first half.
He absolutely has. I love the fact that he didn't pout about not playing on Saturday, but he's come in and given his team everything that he can early in this game.
Beekman. Nice dish for Gardner. Got it. Boy, everything swinging the Cavaliers' way. Back up to their largest lead. The dunk attempt won't go. Beekman out of the pack with it.
Great job by Marcel covering up. McNeely not giving him a look. Isaac McNeely, a knockdown three-point shooter, could have got one in transition.
Clark with that hesitation. Very nearly gave it away. It's loose and it is scooped up by the Wolfpack. Here comes Smith. Corner jumper on the way, and that won't drop for Joyner. So they're one and done.
And Joyner still scoreless. 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3 in 16 minutes here in this first half.
Yeah, the Pack just 2 for 10 from three-point land. And a shove and a foul as Shedrick went down. Gant knocking him to the deck. NC State has missed their last 6. And Virginia's clicking. On top 30 to 18. Under 3 to go in the half. Well, Tony Bennett's team hangs their hat on defense. Of course, NC State mainly on offense, and obviously Virginia has played their game very well.
They absolutely have. If you go back and look at Virginia, their past 3 games, they allowed Syracuse to shoot 64% at the Dome last week. And then on Saturday, Virginia Tech shot 51% for the game against Virginia. Right now, NC State shooting 26.9% from the field. And Virginia's defense is starting to look like the Virginia defense we've known to grow and love over the past 10 years that Tony Bennett has been here in Charlottesville.
Well, the Cavaliers have taken Jarkel Joyner out of the game to this point. And DJ Burns with a couple of fouls has been sitting for a long time. That's going to be short by Joyner. Battle for the rebound. They'll get a second crack. Here's Smith to loft it, and that'll stick. Possession arrow. We'll keep it on this end. 2:30 to go. And NC State has missed 7 in a row. No points in the last 3 minutes.
Obi, we got a wedgie. You didn't let the world know.
Can't even say the word. It happened to me so often as a young kid.
Not you. You were the coolest dude in the school.
It's a nightmare. Smith with a nice spin, but can't connect.
Virginia's made everything difficult for Taquavion Smith, for Jarkel Joyner throughout this game. And you're talking about not only guys who are great offensively, you're talking about some of the best defensive guards in the ACC and throughout the country. When you mentioned Kihei Clark, Reese Beekman, Jarkel Joyner, and Taquavion Smith, these 4 guys, we knew it would be a tremendous battle, but it's been one-sided in this first half. It's been all about the Who's here on their home floor.
Joyner with the personal to put Clark at the line. And he's shooting a 1-and-1. Kihei 77%. But a huge story here with under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Ross with a leaner and won't hit it. The fact that NC State has been held to 18 points. Very frustrating half for the Wolfpack.
And you're talking about a team that leads the ACC in scoring over 79.5 points per game. And right now, 18 points in the first 18 minutes of this first half.
Gardner gets a look and sticks it.
And he is feeling good about himself right now. We have to remember, Jaden Gardner is from Wake Forest, North Carolina. And for those thinking Wake Forest is near Wake Forest University, you would be wrong. It is near Raleigh, North Carolina, very close to NC State.
Smith just lost it. Clark wants to run. Up against Joyner and slapped out. Dewana got a hand on it. Minute 10 to go in half. (32-18) Virginia. Over the top for Shedrick.
Right now, Reese Beekman with the mismatch. I'm surprised he did not try to take Ernest Ross off the dribble.
Feed to Gardner, nearly stolen away, shoved up there, but a misfire by Beekman. Trying to push the tempo again. A lot of turnovers here for the Wolfpack. The bounce for Gardner and the stuff. They made him pay, didn't they?
They absolutely did. Miscommunication on the break for NC State. Joyner was throwing that pass to Smith in the corner. Ernest Ross thought it was to him. Ends up being a turnover and a dunk on the other end for Jaden Gardner.
The fans are up here in Charlottesville. It's an 8-0 run. And a timeout with 18.6 seconds to go. A quick one, 30 seconds, and then we're back. Virginia in great shape nearing halftime here at home. NC State's first half scoring low was 21 against Clemson. 18 in this one.
And Reese Beekman dropping it off to Jaden Gardner with the finish. The ankle looks like it's feeling just fine. And we've talked about the different places to play in the ACC. Where's the toughest place to play? I can tell you right now, this place, John Paul Jones Arena here on grounds of the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, has to be close to the top of the list throughout the ACC.
Final seconds of the first half. To Quavion Smith. Up for Morcell. Burns in, playing with two personals. He'll turn and fire and swishes it in. Here's Beekman with a heave. Would have counted had it gone, but it does not. But Virginia holds NC State to their first half low, just 20 points.
And Virginia getting great production from many different players. But Caden Shedrick back into the lineup, getting minutes, blocking shots, and getting and ones has energized the crowd here at JPJ. And the Who's are having a great time here at home tonight.
We're at halftime here in Charlottesville, Virginia, looking very sharp on top of NC State, 34-20 at the break. Dave O'Brien, Corey Alexander alongside. I thought one of the most impressive things was the way that Jaden Gardner brought himself back on the floor after an ankle injury and then looked like that never happened.
Absolutely. 5 for 7 from the field, 12 points for Jaden Gardner, who's been playing great basketball as of late, averaging over 18 points per game over his last 3 games. Got off to a great start in this game, finishing and, of course, getting that short corner that he loves so much, knocking down buckets, going to the fadeaway. And, of course, whenever you get a chance to test out that ankle with a finish, it's always perfection.
So Gardner, who has been such a talisman for them offensively, and they're playing good defense too on DJ Burns and company.
Well, DJ Burns was excited about the fact that Virginia was going to trap him because he loved to drop dimes, but Virginia has been able to smother him, forcing turnovers. And of course, Caden Shedrick showing up with a big block in the first half. And the job that Virginia has done on the backcourt of NC State, Kihei Clark, Reese Beekman showing their defensive prowess against the highest scoring backcourt in the ACC.
Smith and Joyner averaging 34 points a game between them. They've been held to 9 here in the first half. Jerkel Joyner, by the way, 0 for 6 from the field. So NC State has another half to try and pull it together, but right now it is all Virginia. They lead at 34-20. Second half coming your way. The number 8 team in the country, the Cavaliers, taking on number 22, NC State. Big night in the ACC. Cavaliers with a big upper hand after a half. Second half coming up in just a couple of moments here. Virginia Cavaliers looking to bounce back after a tough loss to Virginia Tech on Saturday. They have done that. They have played superb defense and shut down one of the better scoring teams in the country to this point, but 20 minutes to go.
20 minutes to go, but one thing's for certain. Playing in this environment, Virginia is a different team on their home floor. Tony Bennett got the attention of his team after that loss on Saturday. They got back to basics, and we have seen the Virginia defense that we have known for 14 seasons with Tony Bennett on the sidelines. And we'll see if they can do it again in the second half.
Virginia leading the ACC in defense coming in anyway. Yeah, they have the basketball to begin the second half here. John Paul Jones. Vanderplas gives it up. Gardner, the star of the first half offensively. Here's Beekman. Shot clock to 8. He'll drive it on Ross, who commits the foul. That was with 7 on a shot clock. They're going to give that one to Morsell, the number 2 on Casey Morsell. In for Clark off the fake. A dribble down. Burns on him, draped all over him. Burns in foul trouble in the first half. Beekman on the drive, past him, and scores it.
A nice finish by Reese Beekman, avoiding the shot blocker, contorting his body in midair to be able to get the finger roll.
Give him 6 along with 3 assists. And a 36-20 advantage. I'll tell you what, every time that man touches the ball, he's got at least 2 men on him, and a frustration foul too.
Yeah, he compounded the turnover with the foul, already playing with 2 fouls. Reaches out, grabs Reese Beekman, picks up the 3rd foul. Speaking of Beekman getting to the basket, and you see his ability to contort his body to avoid Ernest Ross there, get it up on the glass for the bucket. And the officials are going to go over and review to see if this is a flagrant on DJ Burns.
They're taking a look if this is an intentional to stop a fast break here. So a 16-point advantage here for Virginia as Roger Ayers goes to the monitor. Good to see Roger back at Virginia.
It absolutely is. Great to see him back. Roger Ayers had to take 3 years off from officiating Virginia games. You see DJ Burns reaching out, grabbing Reese Beekman on there. Roger Ayers' daughter, Laken Ayers, graduated from the University of Virginia in 3 years.
3 years?
While she was in school here, Roger could not officiate University of Virginia games.
Wow.
So he pushed her along, got his daughter to graduate in 3 years, so therefore he could come back, was able to come back and do the first game of the season here in Charlottesville, and went up to Tony Bennett to shake his hand. Tony told him, hey, Roger, we missed you, but we've been doing pretty well here without you, so don't mess it up.
Yeah. But you get through Virginia in 3 years, you are one smart student.
Absolutely. That's
I mean, you're in a different league.
Kudos to Laken, and her father is very proud of her.
And delighted, saved Dad some bucks too by getting out of school in just 3 years. So it'll be Beekman to the line. It is a flagrant one. And drops in the foul shot. Another one coming.
And you see, just out of frustration, DJ Burns reaching out. In the first foul, he maybe would have gotten away with, but it was the second reach that let it be known he was doing it with intent. And therefore, of course, no intentional foul in college basketball, so it is a flagrant one.
So this is the largest deficit that NC State has faced all season long, as they're down 18. And Beekman looking to add to that. A swing here for Franklin. Very patiently, they get it to Gardner. Vanderplas underneath, and they do add on, and they double up the Wolfpack 40-20.
And just a smart play. Jaden Gardner being patient, recognizing Vanderplas has a mismatch with a guard, trying to defend him. Virginia now with a 22-8 advantage on points in the paint.
That's a giant number. There are a lot of them tonight in Cavaliers' favor. Joyner nearly lost it. Defended really tight by Clark underneath. Gets it back. A shot on target here by Burns. He's been very, very quiet here for a long stretch, except for the fouls. And that'll be picked off. Good stop there by Ross. 18:01 to play in all Virginia. He was on the line, and so Virginia will take over the basketball here. And Reese Beekman to put it in. Virginia with it. And Kihei Clark to bring it up now. The Cavaliers have been on their A game all night.
Virginia only 4 turnovers in this game. NC State with 7 turnovers already for a team that's only averaging about 6 turnovers a game over their last 5 games.
Beekman with a blow by, stopped, and it pops outside here for Smith. Smith on the attack and lays it in.
Because of Terquavion Smith's shooting, many people don't recognize how athletic he is until you see him make plays as such. Extremely athletic. He's a big-time basketball player. Give Virginia a lot of credit for what they've done defending him here tonight.
And he's as fast to the cup as anybody.
Yes, he is.
Clark on the dish and finished off underneath by Beekman. Beautiful play by the Cavaliers.
But a great cut by Reese Beekman, recognizing his defender had his head turned, going right to the open spot for Kihei Clark to be able to find him.
Beekman with 10. Joyner off the fake. Kicks out. Smith with a long one. Yes, sir. A three-pointer.
And that time, Terquavion Smith actually got to shoot a settled down. Didn't have to rush his shot to get it off. And, of course, you see how good of a shooter he is when he gets those opportunities.
Can they climb back in this thing doing that?
Well, the one thing they're going to have to do to climb back into this is to get Virginia to turn the basketball over. And, of course, Virginia's at the top of the ACC and fewest turnovers per game, so it's not in their DNA to give the basketball
certainly
away.
Isn't. 9 a game, which is number 4 in the country for fewest. Clark to Gardner. Not this time. So there's a little window opening up here as Joyner tries a 3, and it's just not been his night.
It has not been his night at all, and you got to remember, this is the first time Jarkel Joyner has played against Virginia. The first time he's played in this building.
Foul here with 16:03 to go, and is that going to be number 4 on Burns? On the shove. He's been in foul trouble all night long, and that's going to put Clark at the line. That is his 4th for the big guy.
And that's a huge foul for DJ Burns. You've got to go back to the flagrant foul earlier that gave him foul number 3 early in this half. And you see there just the contact on Kihei Clark under the basket, picking up that 4th foul. And again, with the struggles that NC State has had offensively, they truly need DJ Burns on the floor in this game. Kevin Keats with no option other than to sit Burns with those 4 fouls. Still 16:03 remaining here in the second half.
Boy, he's coming off 24 and 8 last time out against Georgia Tech. 2 games ago against Wake, 31 and 9. He's playing his best basketball.
He's playing his best basketball possibly of his career. And you're talking about a young man who was the player of the year at Winthrop a season ago, but has been great over the last 9 games for NC State.
Smith won't wait. Hits the triple with a feathery touch.
And that's one thing about when you're guarding Terquavion Smith, oftentimes you have to just forget about help responsibilities. Reese Beekman didn't do anything wrong on that, but just wasn't close enough when Smith caught the basketball.
Smith coming in, averaging 19. That's 17 now. Gardner lofts one up there. Vanderplas going down the lane, knocks it out. And a whistle on the play. He'll commit the foul. 44-30. Virginia with the lead as we head into the timeout.
If the Wolfpack can get back into it, they're going to need a lot more of these from Cavaliers Smith.
Virginia leading NC State 44-30 here. A little more than 15 minutes to go here in the second half. Dave O'Brien and Corey Alexander. I've spent considerable time here in Charlottesville. I found your statue the other day on campus. Smith averaging 18.5. He's starting to heat up here when they need him most.
He absolutely is, and he's the guy that will say, hey, listen, if we're not going to be able to do it as a team, I'll go do it myself. The problem for NC State is, can they stop Virginia, because they can't continue to trade buckets, and they're already down 14 at this point.
Smith with 8 here in the second half. Joyner on the dribble. Shot clock inside 10. And that'll be buried from the corner by Morsell.
And some of those will help the Wolfpack as well. Casey Morsell, when he gets his opportunity, shooting 44% from 3, second in the ACC from a percentage standpoint. If he can get some open looks, that can help the Wolfpack as well.
All of a sudden, NC State making a noise like they're back in the game. Vanderplas up top. Franklin. There's 5 20-point games. Vanderplas off target. So another opportunity for NC State. Smith wants the ball again. Morsell along that sideline, but he stepped on it and turned it over. So that is 8 turnovers. That's for a team that, as you mentioned, only turned it over 32 times in the last 5 games. In the Notre Dame game, all of 2.
And an ACC record for NC State, 2 turnovers in 1 game, and that's unheard of. To think about the fact that you only turn it over twice. I'm not sure I ever played a game where I didn't individually have more than 2 turnovers.
I mean, that's a tiny number. Backdoor cut. Beekman with a slam on a nifty dish from Kihei Clark.
And the second time Reese Beekman has beat someone backdoor, having a head turn, and a smart play by Beekman, recognizing where his defender's eyes are and going to the open area.
And for Morsell, making his return to the University of Virginia. Played 2 years here for Tony Bennett. First time back tonight as a member of the Wolfpack. Shot clock to 2. Joyner's got to get a shot in the air. Got a pretty good look, actually, in the end.
He absolutely did, but Jarkel Joyner still scoreless. 0 for 8 from the field. Give me 0 for 9 at this point, and has not been able to get anything going offensively.
Beekman on the drive. He's held up and fouled. 13:05 to go back to that dunk.
And Kihei Clark just looking off to Quavion Smith as Reese Beekman goes backdoor. The athletic finish, but it was the eyes of Kihei Clark that Quavion Smith was reading and not recognizing that Reese Beekman had gone backdoor.
Morsell just picked up his 3rd foul. I don't think there's anybody in the country who's a better bounce passer than Kihei Clark is.
Ooh, okay. You're breaking that one down for me, Obi. You going
in heavy traffic.
Next level there.
Well, he's outstanding using the wood like that.
I would agree. He is an unbelievable passer. Has an opportunity to pass John Crotty for all-time assist leader at the University of Virginia. I believe the number for Crotty is 683. However, John Crotty did it in 4 years. Is there an asterisk attached to the record?
Another whistle here, 12:41 to play. And a foul will go on Shedrick of the Cavaliers. Number 1 on Caden. Joyner in for Terquavion Smith. He'll drive it. Went for the window. The slam won't go. One underneath. Gave it up. And it's taken away by Gardner. They want to run. Beekman for Clark. Shedrick looking to move the ball and a whistle. Gardner went for the dunk and he's fouled on the play.
And that was a 5-on-3. There were two NC State players down in the backcourt. Virginia had numbers and trying to take advantage of them. Getting to the free throw line is Jaden Gardner once again, where he's been ultra aggressive on the offensive end of the floor, and it's paid dividends for the Hoos.
Ernest Ross, sophomore out of Florida, with the personal. Gardner, the fifth-year man, over 2,200 career points. Coming up, nothing but net women's on Thursday at 10 p.m. on the ACC Network. As Gardner finishes off, 12:22 to go here in the second half. And he has 14. (48-33) Virginia. Morcell again. Yes, from that corner.
Well, Casey Morcell surely is comfortable in this building. He's shooting the three, no question about that. And he's been comfortable pretty much all season long. We mentioned second in the ACC in percentage, shooting 44%. And showing that off here tonight.
13 points tonight in his return to Charlottesville. Franklin with the bounce here for Gardner. Puts it to the deck and knocked away from him. It will be Virginia ball when we come back. 11:27 left in the contest here in Charlottesville. It is February. We celebrate Black History Month by spotlighting groundbreaking players like the great David Thompson.
Obi had the opportunity to go back when NC State was celebrating the 1974 National Championship team and spend some time with David Thompson, with many of the legends of that era. The thing that stood out to me the most, David Thompson may be an inch taller than me, 6'3" at most.
Really?
And for a guy who jumped that high, was that athletic, I mean, it was astonishing to see that he was, I thought he was 6'6". I thought he was Michael Jordan size. But you're talking about one of the greatest players in ACC history, one of the greatest athletes to ever play the game of basketball.
And for more Black History storytelling and coverage, stream the Black History Always collection on ESPN+. He was the first guy, I remember them telling the story, put a quarter up there on the backboard, and David would jump up and take it off. And the other story was, put a $20 bill up there, he'd make change. He'd go up there and make change on the way down. Well, unbelievable.
He was measured at a 44-inch vertical leap, but I'll be the first to tell you I think it was higher than that. I saw footage of him going and putting his head way above the rim.
Oh.
And again, you know, doing the testing of a vertical leap was different.
Right. Quick feed inside and the finish by Shedrick. More great ball movement there by the Cavaliers. And open it back up to 50-36. David Thompson was the first guy, one of the first guys I can remember taking off from the foul line to dunk it.
Yeah, I can remember seeing video once again because, of course, in 1974, the 1973-74 season, that was the year I was born. So, of course, I'm about to turn 50, which means that NC State will be celebrating the 50th anniversary of that next year. But I can remember seeing footage of David Thompson in the NBA dunk contest.
Yes.
And again, you're talking about a different level. And David Thompson, of course, was Michael Jordan's idol. That's who Michael Jordan looked to model his game after. And, of course, the athleticism, which Michael Jordan did have, similar to David Thompson. But he talked about so much of watching David Thompson throughout his entire career and how he wanted to be like David Thompson.
Just think about that. You want a scouting report on another player? He was Michael's guy.
There you go.
That's it right there. That says everything. everything. Marcel with a leaner. Line drives it in. Boy, tough shot with that two-pointer.
Yeah, but he is shooting a confident basketball right now. Casey Marcel is trying his best to keep NC State in this game. The lead now 12 for Virginia. But this is the end where NC State has struggled to get stops. And without Virginia turning the basketball over, they made it difficult for NC State to put up any resistance when Virginia has the basketball.
Yeah, it's so tough to cut into a lead against Virginia. Franklin a determined drive, but no. Once again, the Wolfpack getting opportunities to creep a little bit closer. They really need Joyner.
They absolutely do, but Virginia's done a great job with Joyner, not allowing him to get downhill.
Marcel, front of the iron, and over the top. That'll be a foul against NC State. Tawana commits the personal, 9:52 to go.
And we would be remiss if we did not mention the great minutes, not just good, but great minutes that Caden Shedrick is giving Tony Bennett and the Virginia Cavaliers after not playing on Saturday. Did not play, coach's decision, but did not hang his head, didn't pout, got back to work, and has helped his team build a 12-point lead here tonight.
Clark trying to get past Joyner. Came back to defend him. And a rare turnover for Kihei Clark.
And right now, Jaquavion Smith trying to employ Jarkel Joyner to push the basketball, get it in his hands.
Smith with a ugly miss off the window. It'll stay on this end. It was off Vanderplas.
But that was a rush shot from Jaquavion Smith. He didn't hold his follow through. He just threw it up there because, and oftentimes when you play against Virginia, open looks are so difficult that you rush them when you get them because you know that they don't happen often, and that looked like a very rush shot for Jaquavion.
Jaquavion Smith, all ACC first team in the preseason. Certainly headed that way. 19 points a game, also 5 assists. He was a little frustrated there. He thought he was open on the inbounds. Joyner, pull up pop, and knocks it down at last.
His first bucket now. Joyner 1 for 10 from the floor, but makes it a 10-point game with the 2 and allows NC State to set up that full court pressure.
McNeely. So a 10-point game. Now for a long time it looked like it was going to be a serious Virginia runaway. McNeely with a bounce feed. Clark in the paint. Shedrick with a leaner and foul on the play. Marcel did not think so. He debates that with Jeffrey Clark. But a personal with 8:37 left. So that'll be 2 for Shedrick. Took a pretty good knock there as he gets to the line where he's 83%.
2 shots.
And shooting 2 here. And coming up on Thursday night, we have a women's basketball doubleheader coming your way. Olivia Miles leading number 10 Notre Dame against Pitt at 6 Eastern. And Diamond Johnson, number 22 NC State, will battle Jewel Spear and Wake Forest. Should be a great night of women's basketball right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. So it's Virginia by 11.
But an opportunity here for the Wolfpack to get this into single digits, which Virginia's held a double-figure lead the majority of the first half and all of here in the second half as Joyner tries to get a second bucket, unable to come up with it.
Yeah, Virginia's biggest lead was 20 when it was 40-20. And now we've got 8 minutes to go. Beekman has it. Vanderplas trying to move it downstairs for Franklin. Swung here for McNeely. Shot clock down to 4. Back up for Franklin. He's got to get a shot in the air. And a high rebound for the Wolfpack. DJ Burns in foul trouble with 4, getting ready to check back in now for Coach Keats. Morcell looking to make a move and a whistle. And a foul on the play. That'll go on Shedrick, number 3. 51-40 here. Well, Virginia all night has looked like a team eager to take care of business because, Corey, an awful lot on the line tonight. There could be a 3-way tie here in 7.5 minutes atop the ACC.
It absolutely would be that. You think about the teams in the mix right now. Clemson, Pittsburgh playing great basketball. Virginia and Miami after a beatdown on the Duke Blue Devils at home last night. NC State right there in the mix. And you see Duke, Wake Forest knocking off Carolina at home tonight, and so many teams contending for those top 4 seeds in ACC tournament time.
Smith for Burns, and 2. And so with that basket, NC State is within 10 with 7 minutes left.
And that's a hurdle to get over. And again, that's one of the things I'm sure Kevin Keats has talked to his team about. Let's just get it under 10. Let's get it under 10. That'll put some pressure on Virginia, see how they respond at that point.
Vanderplas on the bounce, and a scrap for the basketball. He got it loose. McNeely's 3. That clangs away. Smith and Joyner in that backcourt leading the way for the Wolfpack. One of them has to get real hot here down the stretch. Morcell for Burns, out of the double and thrown away. Picked up by Beekman.
DJ Burns told me they prepared for the trap all week, but yet they have not handled it very well at all. It's different to simulate it in practice with your guys in comparison to have to do it against the guys who do it for real.
Gardner taking it in strong off the pump fake, got it back, and a foul as he gets hit. He's pretty relentless.
He absolutely is, and recognizing that Burns playing with those 4 fouls, he was going to challenge DJ Burns. Not much DJ Burns could do on that possession.
Gardner, the 6'6" grad. And a take 2 with 6:11 remaining. ACC Unity Week tipping on next Saturday. Pitt's on the right side of the bubble. Played another great game in this one, and that's Virginia Tech at 5 o'clock Eastern. And we have some amazing fans across the ACC this winter. ACC Network wanting you to experience each sport from your perspective. So snap a pic or take a video. You can tag it with hashtag #AllTheDevotion. Post it on your social, and you just might see it on ACC Network. Smith forcing a shot up there, takes a foul with 5:51 to go as he got hit on the arm. So number 2 on Reese Beekman.
And Reese Beekman upset with himself for bailing out to Quavion Smith on that. Wasn't a lot of contact on that shot attempt. If there was anything, it was the right arm down low.
Well, there's a chance for bacon for everybody if he misses his foul shot. The loudest it's been all night here. The student section trying to get Smith to miss 2 in a row. Didn't happen there. So that's the gig. You got to miss 2 straight.
Yeah, everyone loves bacon. So, of course, it's going to get loud when there's bacon on the line. But right now, an opportunity for first place in the ACC on the line for the Hoos. And right now, up 10.
Well, NC State ranked number 22, trailing number 8 Virginia by 10. Always feels like a little more when it's Virginia up by 10 because of the way they play and are so stingy with turnovers.
Yeah, that's the biggest key for Virginia, handling the basketball, not giving it away. Only 5 turnovers for the Hoos in this game, and NC State leads the ACC, forcing 14 turnovers a game. Virginia's handled the basketball to perfection throughout this game, but NC State will continue with the full court pressure to try to find a way to speed Virginia up.
So trying to test that theory right now as Clark gets it up to Beekman. They break it. Gardner free will lay it in.
And I love the play by McNeely, not pulling it out and settling, making the pass to Gardner, getting the quick, easy two-point basket. You have to continue to stay aggressive even though the pressure's there.
18 points for Gardner once again. Coming off 20 at Virginia Tech in the loss on Saturday. He's really become the go-to man as this season has worn on. A tough play there by Burns, but a turnover. And Roger Ayers stepping in. And a delay of game warning here against NC State.
Yeah, DJ Burns not throwing the basketball back to Roger Burns, just rolling. Roger Ayers just rolling it on the floor. Gets the warning on that one. The next one would be a technical foul.
Break the press again. 55-43.
And now this is the time for Virginia. You use the shot clock, it's fine. But whenever you break the pressure and you have numbers, you need to take advantage of it.
Shedrick airborne. Couldn't finish that. Burns with a rebound. Marcel thought about a three. He has been a hot hand tonight. But they need more than just him. Marcel will lift. Can't stick it. Rebound tapped out high, back to Smith. He'll launch. That's up over the top of the backcourt. It'll go back over to Virginia.
Virginia defensively has made life difficult for Taquavion Smith tonight. 7 of 19 from the field, 3 of 10 from beyond the three-point arc for the ACC's leading scorer. And you've got to give Virginia's defense, especially Reese Beekman and Kihei Clark, a lot of credit. Isaac McNeely getting involved in that mix as well for the job they've done on Smith defensively.
Another big factor, Virginia has owned the paint. They've outscored NC State 30-12 in the paint tonight.
And Virginia's been outscored in the paint their last 2 games, OB, so that's a great sign for the Hoos coming back home.
Clark launching, in and out from the corner. Under 4 to go. Just 2 fast break points tonight for the Wolfpack. They really live on that. On the angle, it won't go. Second effort, Morcell. Yes, sir. He's a really good three-point man. 18 points for him.
He absolutely is, and that is a new ACC career high for Casey Morcell. 17 against Georgia Tech was his previous career high their last time out, and he continues to play great basketball for the Wolfpack. 4 out of 8 beyond the three-point line. Foul stops the clock with 3:26 to play. That is number 4 on Casey Morcell. And we have a timeout. About 3.5 left. Still Virginia 55-46. Jake Gardner has had a special evening here coming back home to the University of Virginia. Gardner got started off from the field great, turned his ankle, but came back into the game, scoring in many different facets. On the fast break, able to finish off with a 2-hand slam dunk and continues to run the floor and is the beneficiary of a number of great finds from his teammates. And Jake Gardner, 18 points. 6 of 12 from the field, 5 rebounds, and leading Virginia in scoring for the 3rd straight game.
I'm sure NC State would not wish him any ill will physically, but they wanted him to sit it out a little longer than he did with that ankle. He came back pretty quick.
He absolutely did. And of course, Virginia's a different team without him on the floor. He is their low post scorer.
Oh, McNeely got over the cover defensively and blocked the shot.
And a great job by McNeely because he was late on the rotation, but makes up for it with a great block. He'll have a conversation with Jason Williford, the associate head coach for Virginia, about being late. But you see his effort allows him to be able to come up with a big play. All ball there on the block of Gant going up for the dunk.
So Beekman at the line after the Gant foul. Virginia 17 out of 21 at the foul line on a misfire there by Beekman, one of the better foul shooters here.
And still 3 minutes remaining. This game is far from over. There's more than enough time, especially with the three-pointer.
Morcell could not hit it despite an excellent look. And it remains a 10-point lead. And the Cavaliers undoubtedly to run some time off that clock. Clark on Gant. Shedrick setting the screen. Clark never in any hurry. On the drive and the lay in by Beekman. 15 points for Reese Beekman.
Back-to-back 15-point games for Beekman as he continues to get healthy and becomes even more of a contributor on the offensive end of the floor. And Caden Shedrick contributing defensively, that time holding his ground, forcing another turnover by DJ Burns.
On the travel. So time beginning to run out here on the Wolfpack. Their season low in points was 60 against Pitt. Only 46 tonight here at John Paul Jones Arena. And Beekman on the drive will kick it. McNeely buries a three. And that feels like a dagger.
I believe that will be the one. Isaac McNeely has given Virginia great minutes off the bench throughout this game. Not only offensively, but doing the job defensively as well as he continues to develop.
Here's Smith and around and out. He'll stay right here for NC State with a minute 22 showing. And Virginia can start to celebrate, it feels like, leading 61-46. And on the way to denying the Wolfpack their 20th win of the year, Smith leans in and a whistle. And a foul with 1:18 to go. So that's on Beekman. And again, the combination of Joyner and Smith, you know, had led them so many times this season, averaging 34 points per game between the two of them. They've been held to 20 tonight. Well, he missed the first one. The student section eager for some bacon. Won't get it there.
Amazing how knowledgeable all these students are and the fans when there's bacon on the line.
When there's bacon on the line. It's so true. Approaching 1 minute to go. So the Cavaliers with an impressive bounce back after the loss at Virginia Tech.
Absolutely, and their defense is back. The defense did not travel to Syracuse. It did not travel to Blacksburg. But here at home, it has been right on point.
Morcell committing the foul to put Shedrick to the line. Caden Shedrick, he showed up in a big way, particularly in the first half. Morcell just fouled out, by the way.
Yeah, you see these two guys coming together, the foul. They actually were recruited in the same class, came to the University of Virginia together. Good friends, as Casey Morcell gets a mixed ovation of boos and cheers. A young man that is still very well respected in Charlottesville, especially for his contributions throughout 2 seasons here at Virginia.
Well, that had to be emotional, returning to the University of Virginia. 2 seasons here. This is second year with NC State, but the first time he's played here against the Cavaliers on this floor, and had a very nice night with 18 points.
He absolutely did. And again, still friends with many of the players on this team, teammates with many of these guys. And again, you don't lose that bond even though you're wearing a different uniform.
Joyner lofts it up there, and it drops from 3-point territory.
Only the second field goal made for Joyner throughout this game, and the crowd not happy about the fact that Kevin Keats calls a timeout here, down 13.
Now Kevin Keats burning a timeout there with 39.1 to go, down by 13.
Well, one thing you have to remember, NCAA net rankings, anything beyond 10 points is a blowout. If you're Kevin Keats right now, you want this to be a loss under 10 points. If they can find a way to get it to 9, they will do that. It's looked at completely differently regarding the net rankings.
Under 30 seconds to go. And Clark to dribble away a lot of seconds here. Cavaliers to put this one into the win column and about to improve to 18-4. And with their 10th win in the ACC, go to 10-3. Beekman went for the slam but came up empty. But the final seconds here as Virginia has pulled into a three-way tie for first place in the ACC along with Pitt and Clemson.
Strong performance by Virginia's defense, holding the ACC's leading scoring team 30 points under their average. Tony Bennett has to be happy with what he got from his team from a defensive standpoint tonight.
Nice moment there. Morcell embracing again with his former head coach. He came to town. He did everything he was capable of doing, and then some. 18 points for Casey.
Yeah, Casey Morcell scoring 18 of the 50 points for NC State. Unable to get much help from the rest of his team. However, DJ Burns getting in foul trouble definitely hurt NC State's chances throughout this game. And, of course, their offense, which has been playing so well.
In the end, this was about Virginia defense.
It was absolutely about Virginia defense. Stingy defense, what we've seen from Virginia throughout Tony Bennett's 14 years here, it was back when they returned home to JPJ.
NC State's been a powerhouse, but they were held to a season low, 50 points, 63-50. The final, Virginia with a big win tonight in the ACC.